Next, we're at Chicago Auto Pros in Lombard, Illinois, and this is where the Tesla is really going to transform into my ultimate daily driver EV. I plan on driving this car a lot, and I want it to look good for a long time, so right now the guys are prepping the car for the installation of the XP Crystal Paint Protection Film and the XP Black Carbon Paint Protection Film. So the guys need to make sure the paint is free of any contaminants, so after a good wash, they're spraying an iron particle remover that will dissolve iron so it's not embedded further into the clear coat when they buff and polish. After the iron remover is rinsed away, they clay bar the entire car, which lifts away deeper contaminants, and this car had a lot of nasty stuff in the paint. With the Tesla all cleaned up, it's time for the paint correction, and this is a very important step before any paint protection film is applied, but especially on my car because there are a lot of swirls in this paint. Now, even though the front end was just painted, the guys at Chicago Auto Pros are still going to buff and polish every single surface of the Tesla to ensure there are no imperfections, because once you put the clear PPF down, whatever the surface looked like is what it's going to look like, so you don't want to seal in any scratches. So while the guys are correcting the paint, I have removed this panel from right in here in order to more easily get this piece of chrome off, because we're going to be wrapping it with this, the XP Black Carbon Paint Protection Film. This is a state-of-the-art paint protection film that is self-healing.
Right off the bat, I'm like, this looks like real carbon to me, okay? This looks great. I can see that it has a cap sheet on it. So there's a small sample. It has a cap sheet. Once you remove that, you reveal this beautiful carbon. And then once you open that up, you take off this back plastic, and then it reveals the actual carbon. And what I really like about it, I've been playing around with it a little bit, is that once you pull it apart, it has a lot of elasticity, and it doesn't really pull apart. There's a lot of other films that are once you stretch on them, they start to rip. What's nice is it seems like the carbon is infused with the PPF. Normally on other films, once you start to pull it apart, you can see that there's a top layer of PPF, and then there's a base layer of like a vinyl. And then once you pull on it a lot, it starts to like separate and delaminate from each other. Which with this film, it seems like it's infused, and I really like that.
So right now, E-Man is removing the protective clear film. That's pretty much just there for shipping and to protect the actual carbon PPF. So with the clear protective film peeled off, he can now cut out the carbon PPF to the shape of this roof, and this is a program that they have for most all cars. They can actually cut this out to the shape of the panel that they're going to apply the film to. So you can see it's not cutting it on a straight line right there, it's molding it to the edge of the roof. Very cool. Oh, and I should probably mention that we're not wrapping the roof of the Tesla, we are wrapping the roof of this, a Porsche GT3. This thing is highly modified, and it already has some carbon accents, the spoiler as well. And the owner wanted the roof wrapped in carbon, and the preparation to install a colored wrap is just a wash and clay bar.
What you want to do is you want to score the film. So you'll score the film, and then you want to pull the two pieces apart. On cheaper films, sometimes it doesn't score well, it stays together, or it starts to rip in really jagged little pieces. But with this film, off the plotter, it seems to cut out really nicely. And it's a really clean cut all around.
So because this car has a roll cage, they can't remove that little antenna. Normally they would do that. So they have cut out a little section to go around that. And they spray the roof down as well to give them the most flexibility in moving the piece of film, so they get it perfectly on the edges and aligned properly, because this stuff, it obviously sticks pretty well once they get rid of the water and soap. So they need to make sure it's on right before they remove any of the water below.
What our plotter does is it just gives us a rough cut. It gives us a nice little template. We leave all this excess so we can still stretch out the film, so we can glass it and make it look perfect.
So I'm filming this Porsche as kind of a bonus because I think it's really going to tie this car all together with the carbon roof, and because in a large sheet, this stuff looks so cool, it looks so real up close. When they're done, I'll show you, but it's like mesmerizing looking at it. You'd think it's real carbon. Wow, this is looking so good. I love this stuff. This is exactly how this car should have come from the factory. All right, so at this point, they have to let this dry for about 30 minutes before they can continue on. So it is Tesla black carbon time, and we're starting off with this rear chrome piece, and it's gonna have the chrome Tesla sticking out. It's gonna pop. I think this is gonna look so good. So he's just cutting off a little piece on the board, and this is gonna be kind of a difficult install because he still has to cut around each letter perfectly. But luckily, we got the best guy on the job. Okay, so while this dries for 30 minutes before he can cut out for the letters, we gotta remove the front bumper again. Even though we just had this bumper off at the body shop, it's coming off again for some more carbon black PPF. We're gonna do this right here. Easy does it. Okay, we should be able just to rest it on the ground. That way we can get this piece out from the inside. All right, one last clip. Haven't broken any yet. Break? No, we're good. We're good. All that work just to get this piece off so we can wrap it. So I'm not doing a full chrome delete on the Tesla. I do think chrome is a good accent on some cars, including this one, but I also think carbon fiber is too. So instead, I'm gonna make these work together. So we are gonna have the Tesla popping out of the chrome here in the back, and we're gonna do a very similar theme up front. So we're gonna wrap this in carbon fiber, and we're gonna leave the Tesla T in chrome. And they treat the chrome similar to a painted surface by clay barring it, removing any of the imperfections and contaminants, because although you're not gonna see the chrome anymore, you want this to stick perfectly, and you need a really smooth surface for that. And you can see even in the shiny chrome, there are still dirt and contaminants. So they're actually doing two pieces. That way there's no bubble in the crease there, right in the middle. And just like that, E-Man is done with the carbon roof. This black carbon PPF looks so good. It's tucked in to perfection. It looks factory. It looks like it came from Porsche, just like this. And now it matches the carbon fiber rear wing, and this GT3 just looks complete to me. All right, so the front bumper trim is complete, looking amazing. And now E-Man is doing probably the hardest part of this entire job, which is cutting out each letter. This is nuts. Look at how nicely he did the L. I can't believe it. I would never be able to do this. I'd be shaking like crazy. All right, it's time for the XP Crystal Paint Protection Film, and we're doing the essentials on the Tesla. So the entire front end, the bumper, the hood, both fenders, the mirrors, and then we're gonna be doing the side skirts right there and the rear bumper. And all they're using is soap and water on the bottom side and on the top, so they don't scratch the film when they're squeegeeing the water out. So right now they've positioned it perfectly so that there's enough meat at the end here to cut off and form it all the way around each panel. It's very important on things like the hood and the bumpers, really on anything. You want to wrap it all the way around, that way it doesn't catch and start to peel up. All right, so this fender is down. And of course they removed the side fender cameras so they can tuck the wrap in, and it's looking really nice. So we polished out this Tesla as best as we can, but it's just not meant to be a chrome finish like everything else. It's more of a natural aluminum type finish. which is still cool. And now it's gonna pop more with the carbon fiber right next to it. All right, here we go. Oh man, this is sweet. Oh, this is exactly what I was thinking. So cool. There we go. Let's go put it on the car. All right, it's time to install the carbon fiber spoiler. And I know installing spoilers and badges can be a little intimidating. You don't want to mess up the alignment, but I found this to be a pretty good method of installation. I lined up a piece of tape right with the body line here, and then one right next to it, one right next to it, so we can get really close to the spoiler. So there's our gap on this side. And you can see we pretty much have the same gap on this side. I mean, if you're off by like that much, it's not going to make a huge difference. No one will be able to tell, but I think we're pretty good, and I verified with a tape measure that we're basically spot on. So now I can take this guy off and install the double-sided tape. So I'm just taking the red film off on the end. I've left a little bit here so we can grab it and peel it off once it's lined up. So let's go ahead and line this guy up. It's hard to do if you peel the red stuff off right away. Now we can get it right into position. See, we're way off right now. Move it over, move it over. Okay, that is good. All right, so I've stuck this side down, and I was able to get the red film up a little bit. So as we pull this, we're gonna stick this down too, and then we can pull this stuff off. Just kind of got to lift up a little bit on there. Okay, this guy is much easier to reinstall because there are clips, but I still added a ton of double-sided tape. It took me about an hour to clean all the old stuff off, but it'll be well worth it. I can just line up these clips here. All right. That's it. Yes. In my mind, this is absolutely perfect. I love this, leaving a little bit of chrome with the carbon and this deep blue metallic. It just looks so nice back here. And then since it's the facelifted model, it has a little bit of a different rear bumper with this painted gloss black from the factory. I think this all ties in so nicely together. I love it. I just got done putting the front trim piece in and buttoning up the bumper. I love it. I love it with the dark headlights. This looks perfect. I think it looks good with the chrome on the side there, carbon in the middle, Tesla T in chrome as well. This is really coming together. We're gonna protect these rockers as well with the XP Crystal. This is an area of a lot of cars that gets chipped up, but luckily this one wasn't bad at all. All right, so E-Man just finished the carbon fiber on the roof. All the carbon fiber is now done. This looks totally factory. I love the look. It's subtle, but you can tell. What are you doing?
I'm gonna take a wire brush to your PPF.
Oh, come on, dude.
So you're just gonna take this wire brush?
No, this is so messed up, dude. And this is like worst case. This is a wire brush. Dude, you really scratched this up. This is so bad. All right, let's see what happens. So we're gonna take a heat gun, but hot water, you can even put the car out in the sun, should work with this as well. It's melting away. This is crazy. It's like a magic eraser. And no more scratches, just like that. That's a wire brush, a metal wire brush. And you can't see anything at all. Crazy. All right, so we're gonna scratch up this carbon fiber as well. Why not? We can do that now. This is difficult to see, but if you look at the light, you can see the scratches. All right, go for it. And just like that, they are gone, nothing. All right, so we got a really nice long scratch here. This is a key scratch. You can see it, and it's disappearing right there. You see that? It just goes away. Gone. All right, we scratched up a little bit more of the hood in the front. Go ahead. Yeah, and most of the time you really don't even need to do anything. You could just put the car out in the hot sun and they'll just melt away. So it almost like automatically removes scratches if you go park your car outside. And so we went from this to this, my new Tesla daily driver, and man, does that look good. So I'm really happy with the Model S. This is what it looked like before, And here is where we are today, and I think the black chrome wheels with the cleaned up red calipers really complete the side profile. Before, the front end had a ton of rock chips, a nasty front license plate, and a kind of boring chrome trim under the hood, and this is where we are today. I think this matches just perfectly with the chrome on the side, the Tesla T in the middle, and then if you get up close, you'd think this carbon fiber was a factory option. So beautiful, beautiful front end now without the front license plate bracket. And this is probably my favorite part of the car now. I think this just matches perfectly with the Tesla kind of sticking out of the carbon fiber before when this was chrome. It all just blended in together. And on my other Model S, I had a larger spoiler, which I liked, but I think this factory carbon fiber spoiler matches much better, and the back end of the car just looks absolutely amazing. Look at the side profile. This is crazy. I cannot believe this is my daily driver. I've always thought these were really good looking cars. And take a look at the before and after on the paint correction. So this car was one of the worst newer cars Chicago Auto Pros had ever seen. And they spent many, many hours correcting the paint to perfection. It's absolutely amazing. And I love this color. It's my favorite color. I had never owned blue cars up until about a year ago. And now I have 3 of them. So I'm a huge fan of the deep metallic blue, or deep blue metallic, whatever they call it. And now the car simply looks brand new. I mean, this is a 2016. You'd never be able to tell. And we wrapped kind of the essential parts of this car with the paint protection film, so it's going to stay looking like this for a long time. You can't see this, but we actually wrapped the top part of the bumper with the XP crystal, so when you're loading things in the back of the car, you're protected. And take a look at the nasty scratches we had on the back bumper. They have miraculously disappeared. Well, actually, Juan spent about an hour buffing out the rear bumper just to get these to go away, but no paint work was needed in the back. This was all paint correction. And here's the black carbon on the roof, so I think this is a nice subtle change from the piano black that was on the car before. And this PPF, the XP crystal, and the black carbon is ultra hydrophobic, so water just beads right off. And any panel that we didn't apply the XP crystal to, I did ceramic coat, so everything, the glass, the wheels, every part of this car is ceramic coated as well. I love the car. I hope you guys do too, and I hope you really enjoyed this video.